Hola, 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 mis amores, ¿cómo están? ¿Cómo están haciendo? So I am back with yet another update, and you all will not believe. You will not believe. Like, this is the ultimate update. Like, when I say the ultimate update, it's the ultimate update. It's you won't believe what I just found. Like, oh my goodness. Before we get into it, go ahead and please smash that like button for me. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. And make sure to leave your comments and your thoughts below. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. In one of my other videos, I said we probably are not even scratching the surface. I honestly believe this was Cassie's purpose, to save thousands and thousands and maybe even millions of people. People that would have continued to drive themselves right into Hollywood, none the wiser. Y'all, let's get into this. Remember, everything is still allegedly, and they're still investigating everything. But I have a feeling that a lot of other stuff is about to come out because y'all, I can't breathe. Y'all, okay, let's get into this.
To the lawsuit where Cassie implemented that Diddy was putting pause on her. Now, before we get into this video clip about what Roger Bond had to say about the situation, I want to discuss this real briefly. Like, when a victim of SA always come forth, some of you always ask, like, why do they want to file a complaint now? Why didn't they file the complaint back then? But I believe that people who were involved or around the situation should get that same type of energy because they're a bunch of enablers. And in this particular situation, no matter how you slice it or dice it, and no matter what Roger has to say about the situation right now, he allowed it to continue to happen. Even though he told Diddy...
Literally, if y'all haven't watched my previous video, because we covered a lot of people that it's been coming out that they, knew about it or whatever the case may be, didn't say nothing. They didn't say nothing. They just continued to allow it to happen.
Chill out and stop putting pause on Cassie. He really didn't come forth and just put it out there because he could have stopped Diddy in his tracks way back then, but nobody elected to. So I'm just saying, like, I understand that I don't want to snitch. I don't want to be looked at as a snitch. Man, you're saving somebody's life. Why do you care about what people think about you in regards to your character? Because you chose to step up and do the right thing. It's just really crazy in my estimation.
That's what happens when you go to Hollywood. You literally have to sell your soul before you ever even get there. You have to have been, like, if you're going to Hollywood, what you need to understand is that by doing that, you're actively and proactively choosing to sell your humanity, to sell your soul. This is a mess.
Anyway, guys, check out this clip and I'll be right back.
Okay, so y'all remember when I was reading the official court documents the other day, and we got to page 14, number 67. In the car leaving the club, Mr. Combs, Miss Ventura, pushing her into the corner of the vehicle and on her face. Mr. Combs' security staff, Roger Bonds, pictured above, tried to stop the vehicle, unable to de-escalate the situation. When I was just doing some research on Erica Kennedy, guess what I came upon? An incog posted on LSA in 2009. Apparently, they were at the club the same night that this went down. They wrote, last night, Diddy and Cassie were out at a club in Los Angeles. Cassie apparently was chopping it up with some producer a little bit too long for Diddy's taste. Diddy goes over to her, grabs her arm, and starts going off on her in front of the dude. At this point, they proceed to leave the club. They get in a limo, and Cassie is mouthing off and bops Diddy upside the back of the head. Of course, all hell breaks loose. Diddy smacks her in the face and is shaking her and shit. His bodyguard tries to intervene, telling Diddy to chill. Now we know exactly who that is. They continue arguing all the way back to the house in a limo. Once they get there, Cassie runs and grabs her stuff like she's leaving and goes walking off down the street. Diddy goes after her and proceeds to her to the ground, at which point he her a few times in the face. The bodyguard pulls him off of her. Cassie's crying and bleeding and is taken to the hotel by one of the assistants. The next day, Diddy has one of his assistants go on a $20,000 shopping spree for gifts and has them sent to Cassie's room. Now, I guess Mr. Bonds did not like his name being thrown in the mix, so he takes it to Instagram on an account that you can clearly see he's not all that active on. He posts on his page and his story, "This is not meant to be threats or snitching or anything like that against Cassie or Diddy or anyone else. This is me telling my truth as I truly remember it for two reasons only. First, because I have 4 daughters. So on all dudes, my truth as I seen it, saw it, and was involved with it for years." He goes on in the caption to say, "I'm willing to tell my truth because for so many years I was quiet. Nothing matters now but family." So it looks like he is attempting to clear his own name, and also he is supporting Cassie and saying that she's not lying. I mean, but clearly at this point, we know this. I never thought she was lying, but it just seems like there's just so much evidence being piled on. Like, I don't see Diddy being able to will his way out of this one. It seems like people are starting to choose sides.
All right, so you guys just...
Y'all. So he's trying to clear his name and at the same time show support for Cassie. You cannot clear your name. You were there for years and you watched this happen. This monster punching her in the face repeatedly and you did nothing. And now you want to try to clear your name? Oh, this is typical male behavior. Typical male behavior. Now you want to lean into your family and into the woman that probably doesn't know your true nature. Otherwise, she wouldn't be there. For protection. So that she can make you look more humane. You sat there and watched for years.
saw and heard that. And listen, I'm glad that Roger came out and showed some type of support for Cassie, but I don't think that he would have said anything if Cassie hadn't filed this lawsuit. Just my personal opinion, right? But I will say that it's clear and evident that he must not have guided.
Typical male behavior. All they care about is self-preservation. He wouldn't have said jack squat. The only reason he even said that much is because he doesn't want to be looking a certain type of way.
The NDA that Diddy sent, because he's definitely talking, or maybe he just disregarded the NDA and said, hey, I'm going to speak my truth. But anyway, let's go ahead and transition to this Aaron Hall situation, right? So another woman came out and said that Diddy and Aaron Hall basically took advantage of her one night and they took turns doing it. I mean, this was just so shocking to hear. And so, but it's believable. And so basically what I want to do right here is I want to play you guys this clip, and then I'll be right back to expound on this topic further.
Okay, so now it's a third victim, and this time Aaron Hall is involved. So the plaintiff, Jane Doe, alleges that P. Diddy and Aaron Hall took...
We talked about Jane Doe in one of the other videos. And so if you want even more detail on that, go ahead and make sure to watch that video after this one.
...terms with her and her friend after an event at Uptown Records in the 1990s. So Diddy was hit with a third lawsuit alleging assaults under the Adult Survivors Act that expired after Thanksgiving. The new complaint from an anonymous accuser alleges Combs and singer-songwriter Aaron Hall took turns the plaintiff and her friend in 1990 or 91, and that Diddy turned violent during a rage days later. In the filing obtained by Rolling Stone, Jane Doe alleges that she and her friend met Diddy and Hall at an event hosted by MCA Records at the company's office in New York. Combs and Hall were very flirtatious and handsy with Jane Doe and her friend, offering them drinks throughout the night. As the event was winding down, Combs and Hall allegedly invited the women back to Hall's apartment for an after party. While at Hall's apartment, Jane Doe was offered more drinks and was coerced into having sex with Combs. After Combs finished doing his business, Jane Doe laid in bed shocked and traumatized. As she was in the process of getting dressed, Hall barged in the room and pinned her down and forced Jane Doe to have sex with him also. The complaint says Jane Doe quickly got dressed and fled from Hall's residence after the alleged. It alleges that she later spoke to her friend and learned the other woman had been forced to have sex with with Combs and Hall also in another room. A couple days later, after the alleged Combs allegedly visited the home where Jane Doe and her friend were staying and turned violent. He was irate and began assaulting and choking Jane Doe to the point that she passed out. Combs was searching for Jane Doe's friend because he was worried that she would tell the girl he was with at the time what he and Hall had done to them. Alongside Hall and Combs, the suit names MCA Music Entertainment as defendants. Reps for Hall and Combs did not immediately return requests for comment on Friday. The lawsuit filed in New York County Supreme Court alleges Jane Doe informed her close friend and family about what occurred. It claims that she sought medical treatment to heal from the trauma visited upon her by Combs and Hall. See how this man got away with all of this for so long.
All right, so you guys just saw and heard that, and I believe it because there's a Vlad interview that Aaron Hall did that's floating around all over social media, and I can't play it here because Vlad will flag your channel, right, if you play any of his content. But basically, Aaron Hall was speaking in detail saying that Puff has been to his apartment, and Puff has seen him give a girl back shots before, right? I'm paraphrasing here. And he said that Puff has seen the wood, basically seen him in action. So it's not above the realm of possibility of what this girl is claiming happened to her. Now, of course, Diddy and Aaron Hall's camp have nothing to say about this because, girl, you know it's true. Now, another thing I want to point out is the fact that y'all remember in Cassie's lawsuit, she pointed out the fact that Diddy liked to be around men who had BBCs. So that probably explains why he loved being around Aaron Hall. He had an infatuation for Aaron Hall and also the women that they were seeing as well. So let's just look at that in its totality. Maybe something between Diddy and Aaron Hall transpired on an intimate level that we don't know about, and it's not above the realm of possibility.
I don't even think it's a maybe. At this point, to fathom that this level of evil exists in the world, I feel like us regular people, the general public, we just try to not even, because we're going to lose sleep tonight just off of hearing about it. We don't even live in Hollywood. This guy is a monster. I firmly believe that.
Either. And just for context, I just want to say that I can care less what Aaron Hall is working with. I'm just speaking on it because during the Vlad video or the Vlad interview that Aaron did, he was gloating about his size, and he was saying that he liked to show other dudes that are not fortunate to have the size that he has what he's working with. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the information that was sent to me. Now, I'm going to be paraphrasing a lot of things. I hope you guys read along with me so you can actually...
Y'all, this is the craziest information. Oh, this is crazy, y'all. So hold on to your seats, okay? Because what you're about to hear, it sounds like the truth to me. This, oh my goodness, what y'all are about to hear. Again, this whole video is alleged. I personally fully believe it.
See what it says. And it says here, hey, what's going on? You still with family? Did you get my text? So, brother, I just want to enlighten you on what the F is going on. Cassie's parents are pushing for federal charges to be brought against Diddy in the state of California for the years of abuse inflicted upon their daughter. Cassie has fled back to her hometown of New London, Connecticut, and has 24-hour security monitoring her place of residence. I'm told that there has been talks of putting Cassie and her entire family in a witness protection program in the next coming weeks after federal charges are filed against Diddy. Cassie's husband, Alex, has reported to federal officials that he and his entire family has been receiving threats after the conclusion of his wife and Diddy reaching a settlement. Cassie has said to already have put a will in place to ensure that in the event that something happens to her, that her family will be taken care of. Cassie also says that it was her intent to expose Diddy publicly to garner her safety to some degree rather than settling quietly. Cassie still feels as long as Diddy is free that he will retaliate in some way, shape, or form. She feels that the one thing you don't do is give Diddy time to plot and plan because he is extremely dangerous in that way. It's also been brought to my attention that before Kim moved out to California after Diddy robbed her by buying her a mansion, giving her $2 million and showering her with other materialistic things, that Kimora begged Kim not to move into a home that Diddy purchased for her, and also not to accept anything from him for that matter, because it was a form of having total control to manipulate her and watch her every move. Instead, Kimora suggested that Kim and her twin daughters move in with her, but Kim chose to move into the home that Diddy bought her for the sake of the twins, which ended up being a recipe for disaster. Cassie also told her lawyers that she was pregnant at 7 different times and was forced to have an AB. And even though she never wanted kids with Diddy or anyone else that she was forced to be intimate with, it's been echoed that Cassie was worried about her ability to conceive later on in life because she always wanted to get married and have kids. She thought that having so many ABs that somehow it would affect her fertility. So she secretly tried to have her eggs frozen in an effort to have an IVF done later on, but Diddy found out about the appointment and had it canceled. Cassie did not want that information leaked into the lawsuit for some reason, according to another lawyer from a different law firm who had direct access to Cassie's information because of his relationship with the law firm that represented Cassie. Something else that has been confirmed, and this is coming from the vanilla guy that Kim was secretly seeing before she passed, who is a high-ranking tech official that works in Silicon Valley, that Kim had recordings of certain male artists getting their back blown out at many private parties that Diddy had thrown, and at least 2 of them were forced into performing humiliating favors that involved yellow water. All right, guys, pay attention, yellow water. I'm paraphrasing there. And one of them were in tears during the process. I will tell you over the phone who they are. Lastly, it was exposed that Kim said that the price of Diddy selling his soul to the devil, that certain people connected to him were feist, including Biggie. The whole West versus East Coast beef was all reckless and baseless propaganda to cover up what was really going on. Diddy had a debt to pay to the devil at the expense of Biggie losing his life. The one thing that remains a fact is that Diddy purposely set Biggie up. Kim also said that Diddy had to choose between his mom and Biggie, and she has Diddy admitting that during a conversation back in 1998, and we still see that Diddy's mom is still living and thriving at 80 years old. It's a lot, man. Are you going to invite that lawyer on your channel to do an interview? I think you should. I think it would really send shockwaves throughout the entire world. Hit me up when you get this, bro. 1. All right, so you guys just heard that, and
Y'all, what do you even say to something like that? This animal allegedly forced Cassie to get rid of 7 pregnancies. He not only forced her to get rid of 7 pregnancies, but it was his fault that she got pregnant 7 times in the first place. And when she tried to freeze her eggs, he wouldn't even let her do that. Y'all, you don't need $1 million to be happy and comfortable. You can live a very, very comfortable life and lifestyle if you have enough money and it doesn't take up to $1 million to do so. Diddy is I'm convinced he is the devil reincarnated. He has to be. There is no soul left in that body. This is the only way you can do these type of things to another living, breathing human being. There's nothing left. There hasn't been anything left in him. No humanity whatsoever. I am convinced. So now Cassie is allegedly going to be going into witness protection. I mean, I haven't seen a story this crazy, y'all. Her and her family. She's gone back home. She started to receive death threats. I think, in my opinion, He's trying to make it seem like an accident. He's trying to maybe even plan to delete her. So that's why he's having all these death threats sent. Because from this type of personality, from Diddy's personality type, there is no way he's going to be able to even sleep at night knowing that Cassie is the one that brought him down. The type of ego that this empty, evil person has, there's no way he's not fuming that he had to pay her on top of everything else. He probably can't sleep at night. I don't even think he's thinking about the fact that the public is annihilating him. The general public, he's getting annihilated out here. I don't even think he's thinking about the fact that he has all these other lawsuits popping up, and there might be some more. What's keeping him up at night is probably the fact that he feels like he lost. Psychologically speaking, this type of person, I can't even call this a person. This type of, what do you call this? That's all they can cling onto because they have no humanity left. So all they can cling onto is the feeling of power and control, because that's what they gave up their humanity for. So imagine this type of person losing to Cassie, the person that they were assuming for 10 plus years. And he wasn't even worried about her. He thought he was good. Like, even after they broke up, he would still make threats to her, send subliminal messages, because I'm sure he thought that he still had power over her, and that if he really wanted to, he could go back, go get her, do whatever he wanted. Little did he know. And you know he's fuming. You know he is fuming. He can't sleep. You know he's plotting and riddling. I pray to the good Lord that Cassie's parents sue the living daylights out of this guy. If I were the parent, it would have already been done. But I'm sure they have to prepare. They have to make sure that they set up her safety. According to this information here, she got her will done. I think the feds need to get involved. The FBI needs to get involved. They need to dismantle Hollywood. If they don't, I don't understand what they're doing. We even had that case a few years ago with Britney Spears. All of that stuff that was going on over there in Hollywood with Britney Spears. That place is hell on earth. Stay away from that place. But we will keep following this story. Remember that everything in this video is allegedly. And we are going to continue to watch these cases and continue to watch this story to see how it develops. But go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. And leave your comment below. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? How you feeling? And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.